Against you. Here's Aubrey, extra point, hits the post, and it's no good.
There's no instructions. It's Dallas. The game, we can figure it out.
Prescott fires for Cooks, and it's intercepted.
Do not be fooled by the final score from this game. We do have a new worst playoff game ever. The Dallas Cowboys got absolutely destroyed by Jordan Love and the Packers. Ranchers and cowboys all over the great state of Texas called the governor and demanded Jerry Jones rename the team because they find it offensive to what they do. The Cowboys got not one, but 2 holding penalties for Micah Parsons in this game. He hadn't drawn a holding penalty in 3 months, and they wasted that fucking miracle, and lost 48-32 while getting outplayed 48-16. We thought we might finally be getting this Cowboy for Dallas, that Dak was on fire, he was Costner in Yellowstone, Eastwood and everything. Instead, we got the same old playoff Cowboys.
I don't suppose you could tell me whose shots they are?
I'm scared.
This game was the final deconstruction of the Cowboy myth, like Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven. And rest assured, Jerry Jones will not be forgiving Mike McCarthy for this game. But just like Clint in Unforgiven, Jerry drafted a kid whose blindness flares up in big moments.
You go on, keep it. I'm never gonna use it again. It don't seem real. Jesus Christ.
It's the new worst, new worst playoff? I don't even know anymore.
What you gotta do, cowboy?
Today's episode is sponsored by manscaped.com/goodsports. New year, new pubes. Same solution. Shave down those wiry little with the Lawnmower 5.0, which comes in Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. You know what they say, 2 heads are better than 1, especially if one is removable. Einstein said that, I think. Or maybe it was our first president, Benjamin Franklin. Either way, the Lawnmower 5.0 has 2 interchangeable heads, the normal trimmer blade and the foil blade if you want to go completely bare down there. And if you're part of the OG Manscaped family, like me, this trimmer is a tribute to the classics, upholding the same features that put Manscaped on the pube map, the glorious pube map. A rechargeable lithium-ion battery, RPM technology for top-notch performance, and a travel lock for seamless portability. And the best part, it's still waterproof. So use my link below. Go to manscaped.com/goodsports for 20% off plus free international shipping. And remember, the Performance Package 5.0 comes with the lawnmower, the weed whacker, nose and ear hair trimmer, the crop soother and preserver, and 2 free gifts. And yes, this is gonna stay in frame the whole time, Dallas, to remind you that a cowboy lost to cheese. You were beaten by lactose today, Dallas. What the fuck is that?
First 7th seed in the history of the NFL to win a playoff game.
Last year in the playoffs, we watched the Jacksonville Jaguars come back after trailing the Chargers 27-0. I knew that wasn't gonna happen for the Cowboys when they were trailing 27-0. And not even because of Mike McCarthy, okay? But because Matt LaFleur is a much better coach than Brandon Staley. Plus, Green Bay wasn't playing the 49ers. The Packers didn't pay for admission into Jerry World with plans of not having a good time, and from the moment they stepped onto the field, they looked like the more talented, the better coached, mentally tough, better looking, bigger dicked football team. As the 4th youngest... Whoa. Chill, Leo. As the 4th youngest playoff team ever, they shouldn't have played that well. Maybe they're just too young to realize what was at stake. A bit later, it was 3rd down for the Cowboys in their own territory, and the Cowboys' offense desperately needed a play to get something going. That's what they needed, and if I can borrow from Mick Jagger, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you can't get what you fucking need either, because you're the Dallas Cowboys in the postseason. Jair Alexander, who could barely walk this week with an ankle injury, picked Dak at the 20. Dak's the only quarterback I've ever seen good enough to be in the MVP discussion and also bad enough to get picked by a disabled player. Aaron Jones capped the pick with his second touchdown. Then Jordan Love threw a touchdown off his back foot that probably hurt NFC North fans as much as it did the Cowboys. I mean, I honestly think Lions fans had this touchdown in the back of their head even when the Lions were scoring touchdowns against the Rams in their playoff game. This looked like vintage Rodgers. And like Rodgers did so many times, Love played out of his mind in Dallas. Love also did this.
Jordan Love helped her out of a snowdrift. This happened in De Pere, Wisconsin earlier today.
And if that's not proof that karma is real, I don't know what is, because Aaron Rodgers refused to help that same woman 2 years ago after he found out that she was vaxxed. Dallas, trailing 27-0, did score a touchdown right before halftime, but even that Cowboys touchdown probably shouldn't have counted. The Cowboys getting help at the goal line in a big game? Wait, where have I seen that before? Where?
Well, you see Dan talking to him, and I can't imagine,
Yeah, I can't remember. The Fox broadcast had former Cowboys coach Jimmy Johnson perform a halftime speech as if he were trying to fire up his team in the locker room. And honestly, it was a little hard to watch.
You get your rear end in there and you play the way you know how to play. We can win the game. We're going to open it up. You do what you're supposed to do. We'll win this game.
And considering that didn't work, I'm scared Jerry Jones is going to take Jimmy Johnson out of the Ring of Honor. The Cowboys' only hope to save the game was to make a statement drive after halftime. They did that with a field goal. The statement was, we have no intention of winning this fucking game.
You could tell me who shot you.
I'm scared.
Honestly, 3 points was okay. Any points helped in that moment. They just needed one defensive stop. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Deron Bland, somebody just make a freaking play. Instead, like the most famous Shakespearean tragedy, it was Love and Romeo who ruined the Cowboys season. And this time, Romeo brought enough poison for everyone. And he didn't take the poison. Shakespeare's confusing. He gave the poison. The Cowboys were the ones who died. That analogy started so strong, and I lost it. Just like the Cowboys. Back. While this throw wasn't quite as impressive as his TD pass was to Wicks, Love gets the ball out here and just gives Romeo Doubs a chance to make a play, and he does. And he did that after nearly falling on his face running his route. Luck was on the Packers' side. Aaron Jones cuts through the Cowboys' defense like he was leading the charge at the Alamo. That was his third touchdown in the game. Sorry, Cowboys. Looks like the Mexicans won this one. And they won the one at the Alamo too, didn't they? The Cowboys answered with a real touchdown, but had their 2-point conversion revoked because of a penalty. And this may be the most poignant example of how it just simply was not the Cowboys' day. Because Dak could have walked into the end zone right here for the 2 points, but instead he threw it, which worked, but there were 2 penalties on the play. A legal man downfield and offensive pass interference. Had Dak run it in, neither would have been relevant. And then the most accurate kicker in the league doinks the fucking PAT. The spirit of Brett Maher is alive and well in Dallas. The Cowboys are 2-8 on extra points in 2 postseasons. If you thought that was bad, well, let me show you how Dallas responded after scoring. By completely forgetting to cover rookie tight end Luke Musgrave, who put the Cowboys in said grave.
Musgrave stayed on his feet!
I mean, we literally saw the Packers watch the Cowboys Super Bowl hopes and dreams evaporate and ascend to heaven. And if they knew what they were about to witness, I don't think Cowboys fans would have been so eager to get into Jerry World today. In fact, if you play the video in reverse, it's probably an accurate look at how quickly they got out of there when the Packers hit 40 points.
You could tell me who shot you.
I'm scared.
The best receiver all day for the Packers, or anyone, was Romeo Doubs, who saved what was by far the best day of his career, 151 yards on 6 receptions and a touchdown for his first playoff game. Romeo, oh Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Seriously, the Cowboys secondary would like to know 2 Shakespeare references. Dallas allowed the most points in team history in a playoff game, and that was after having the 5th best scoring defense this year. Couple that with having the highest scoring offense all year, and this Cowboys ass kicking is embarrassing. Really embarrassing. As a Broncos fan, my team lost by 50 points, Dallas, and I think this is worse. This was the first Cowboys loss at home since the start of the 2022 season. They had won 16 in a row in Jerry World and lost this game in the second quarter. To make matters worse, Jerry World, aka AT&T Stadium, has never seen a Packers loss within its walls, which makes the Packers the Cowboys' younger big brother. Now, I don't know which quarterback has more ice in their veins right now, CJ Stroud or Jordan Love. I'll say it's actually the exact same amount of ice, which is Andy Reid mustache amount. It's infinite. The craziest thing that happened wildcard weekend was Jordan Love and CJ Stroud having the exact same stat line. If they are in the Super Bowl going against each other, then I will actually believe the NFL is scripted. If they looked alike, I would also believe in clones right now. Do you know how insane this is? Both in their first playoff game? Like Stroud, Love never made me think for 1 second that he didn't have total control of the game. And honestly, the Cowboys looked shocked that Love could deal the way he did. It was like they didn't watch a single game he played all year. He was like Marty McFly in Back to the Future 3, and they were the dumbfounded idiots who had never heard of 7-Eleven. The Cowboys are they're actually Biff Tannen from Back to the Future. Always just crashing into a pile of manure. And to answer one of my favorite comedians' questions, Gareth Reynolds, yes, the Packers fired Mike McCarthy twice. Of course, the good news is that the Cowboys won't have to suffer the embarrassment of losing in the divisional round, which has to be the most fitting 1 step forward, 2 steps back I've ever used. We all thought if Dallas got bounced in this game, Mike McCarthy would be fired, but we didn't think that Dan Quionn would also be justifiably fired after his defense got absolutely torched. Quinn said, "At least we never had a lead for me to blow in this game." This loss was so bad, the Cowboys can't call themselves America's team anymore. Hell, they can't even call themselves Texas's team at this point. Ian Rappaport described the situation in Dallas as unfathomable, when in fact, this is the most fathomable and utterly predictable outcome for the Cowboys come January every single year. Unlike other years, I actually believed in this team this time. And yeah, I take that personally when they make me look stupid. I need no help there, Dallas. I don't need any help in that department, all right? I've got my own brain to battle for that. I don't need your bullshit either. This is who the Cowboys are. And we need to agree not to take them seriously until they prove it when it matters. So, we'll see you next January when this happens again, Dallas.
It don't seem real. Jesus Christ.
I am never, ever playing games with you two again.
And that is Dallas.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. New worst playoff game ever. Come back Tuesday morning. We'll have winners and losers from all of the wild card games. And, of course, the most anticipated Blop 10 of the season. It'd be unfathomable if you didn't subscribe.